Welcome to the Popcorn Talk Network. For the online broadcast network that features movie discussion, news, and interviews, press 1. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. From the Popcorn Talk Network, the online broadcast network for movie talk, and the Schmoes Know, this is Meet the Movie Press. Roundtable movie news and commentary from the industry's premier film journalists.
Are they talking about us?
That's what they're talking about. I like that new intro.
I know.
Holy crap.
I feel like I'm in a Mission Impossible movie or something.
That's what we are. We are spies taking over the world, and this is Meet the Movie Press on the Popcorn Talk Network.
Good morning, Schmoville.
How you doing? I'm Mark Riley, editor-in-chief of schmoesknow.com.
Jeff Snyder, film reporter, TheWrap.com.
And guys, we have oh my God. I mean, we're just going to get right into it. We were so excited to start. It's a crazy Friday. It's raining cats and dogs out there and raining Sony emails all over the place.
Yeah, I'm soaked. Actually, I'm barefoot right now. You guys can't tell.
Yeah.
With the flash floods here in the valley, I couldn't get to over the curb.
No, I know.
Without stepping in a giant puddle.
Yeah, it was. You know what woke me up this morning was an actual alert from my phone.
That's right, the flash flood alert. I got that too.
I mean, it was just like boing. I was up, and it's crazy. So. Thanks for joining us as always, guys. Like I said, this is a big week, so we're gonna get right into it. It's just me and Jeff holding down the fort today.
No guests today, but you guys don't need it. By the way, JT, does my mic sound okay? It sounds a little raspy in my ears. It's okay?
It's okay over there? Right. All right. Because we have a lot to talk about, guys. And we're going to start. There was no hopeful news break this week, guys, because I got a personal hopeful news break from one Michael Bay. Hopeful news break. Come on, JT. Hopeful news break. Hopeful news break.
Finger on the pulse there.
Oh, yes, guys. Michael Bay himself is hoping. We got to start with this, guys. Schmelville, thanks for asking me my opinion on this. I'm going to try not to Riley rant about this, but
do it.
I want to get your opinion on this, Jeff, before we get into Golden Globes, before we get into the Sony hacks. We are going to talk about Michael Bay's hopeful news break that Transformers 4 is nominated for Best Picture.
For your consideration, folks. Just consider it.
Just consider it.
Let's take out $25,000, $50,000 ads or something in trades and
you
get those Academy voters on board.
You guys, it's so funny, and I know you're throwing these images at me. You're throwing these. Look, I will make you a bet. Transformers 4, if it's nominated for Best Picture, I will eat my head on the air. I will eat my head.
That sounds amazing. What condiments would you like?
I would like ketchup and mustard on the side.
I have a better chance of winning Best Actor on a podcast. Than this movie.
Guys, this is
getting a Best Picture now.
This is the biggest joke of the century for me, and it's just something. Jeff, you told me something off air. It's in their contracts to do this?
Well, I imagine that it's some sort of contractual thing. I mean, listen, Transformers could very well be an Oscar nominee, but it's going to be below the line.
Yeah. Sound,
visual effects, whatever. Best Picture is completely out of the question, and in fact, I could see it getting a Worst Picture nomination at the Razzies.
Absolutely. And calling it a movie is a very generous term. That is a pile of shit. Okay? You guys know, fellow schmoes just walked in and they're smiling and nodding. I love having you here for my rant. I hate that. You guys know I hated that movie. That is probably the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. It is not just a bad Transformers movie. It's a bad, poorly made movie. It's horribly directed. The actors are looking off somewhere else while a camera is on them, and there's no... Look, I'm a filmmaker as well. I don't know what Michael Bay was doing. I said it in my rant on Schmoes Know, the main show. Michael Bay was sitting back with coffee and probably a martini with his feet up, having 4 of his assistants direct the movie. I just hate that movie so much.
Have you seen The Gambler yet?
No.
I don't know which one I buy less. Mark Wahlberg as the English professor or Mark Wahlberg as the inventor?
Oh, my God. Really?
I'm inventing.
I'm an inventor, right? And don't screw my daughter. Oh, don't worry. The Romeo and Juliet.
It's
See,
legal,
no!
sir. It's legal. I have it right here.
Yeah, throw up a close-up of that nonsense.
My God.
Yeah, guys, so that hopeful news break is from Michael Bay. He really hopes it's going to be nominated for Best Picture. It'll never happen. I mean, Jeff...
Waste my... you know what? It's in my interest as someone at the trades. Like, I think 85-90% of our income comes from these FYC award season ads.
Yeah.
But it's unbelievable to me how much money gets spent on these things. I'm like... People who have no chance in hell,
yeah.
and studios are taking out the ads and like, save your money.
Yeah.
Save it.
With this movie, I mean, it is
the ink it takes to write Best Picture on that ad.
Yeah, no, I mean, for your consideration, Best Sound, and then go home. That's fine. That's great. But you guys, it's not going to happen. It's just something that the studios do. I mean, it really is. It's just they're throwing it out there. I think everybody.
Yeah, don't trip.
Yeah, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy is probably is doing the same thing. They have a better chance.
Guardians has a much better chance, and better than I know. One of my competitors wrote something about Captain America 3. That's not going to happen either.
Yeah. I mean, these are good. I would love to see Guardians of the Galaxy nominated or Captain America, much like maybe a few years back that Dark Knight could have been nominated, but I just don't think it's going to happen. So when you throw Transformers 4 into the mix, no, there's, like I said, Jeff will get nominated for Best Actor on a podcast.
I dedicated to these guys right here.
Yeah, they're going to get a nomination too. By the way, for your consideration, Schmoes No for Best Actor. Thank you very much. What's next? Let's talk about the Golden Globes.
Okay.
I mean, those were some great nominations that came out. I dig most of them for the most part. I'm going to throw it to you, Jeff, because you have a very good line on all this. I love your take on this.
I love talking awards, and we're gonna, guys, over the next month or two, you're gonna start seeing the show become a little bit more awards focused. How much comic book news left, can there be to discuss and break?
Yeah.
So the Golden Globe nominations, I was pretty happy yesterday because my boy Jake Gyllenhaal got in there, and so deserving.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad that because honestly, who would have thought that Nightcrawler would be the type of movie or even performance from Jake to catch on with the HFPA. This is a group of 80 or 85 foreign journalists, and so I was very surprised to see him there. But I was psyched that he made the cut.
I was too, and surprised, but not really surprised for the performance because it's phenomenal, and he deserves that nomination.
And what's great is that category is completely wide open right now because Keaton is on the comedy side for Birdman.
See, that's what I noticed, and I wouldn't call Birdman that a comedy, but there's there's comedic elements, sure, but it's. Yeah, but that opens it up for the dramatic, and that's what
it's going to be fascinating to basically, because I think Michael Keaton right now is perceived as the front runner for Best Actor in the Oscar race.
Yes,
but with him out of the picture, as far as drama goes at the Globes, it'll be interesting to see who is the perceived number 2 behind Keaton. Is it going to be Steve Carell, Benedict Cumberbatch, Eddie Redmayne, Gyllenhaal, or David Oyelowo? And I actually suspect it will be David Oyelowo. I think he's incredibly powerful as Dr. Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
He has said in interviews that he was chosen by God. He said that he knew years before he got it that he was going to play this role and that God spoke to him.
Okay.
I know.
I like that.
I know it gave me pause too when I heard it, but
I know. I just paused, but
who am I to say that he didn't?
Right. You never know. I mean, Moses got a call once.
Yeah. Did you see Exodus?
No, I haven't seen.
You know what? I liked it. People are crapping all over this movie. I liked it more than most.
Well, I did I saw some tweets go out there, Schmoville, where you were noticing the Schmoes. They had a fairly positive review. Jeremy Jean's, you. So that's giving me pause to actually see it. Because
I see how you can watch it and hate it and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I thought I was pretty skeptical going into it with the the whitewashed casting and everything.
Yeah.
But listen, as a Jewish guy, I'll be first to admit Christian Bale. Hats off.
All right.
You did a great job.
Nice. Well,
I'm glad you were the chosen person.
Yeah, you were God spoke to Christian Bale and said, "You are going to play Moses one day."
Yeah, God and Ridley Scott.
Yeah, God and Ridley Scott.
Back to the Globes, though.
Yeah. So what are your? We were on Best Actor. So you think it's?
I think Oyelowo.
Yeah.
Could take that. Yeah, I think that the Brits will split with Cumberbatch and Eddie Redmayne. And I preferred Eddie Redmayne, but I think that Cumberbatch maybe has a higher profile this award season. I think I think Carell is probably. I mean, Gyllenhaal is probably 5 and Carell's 4.
You think so? Yeah. There's some kind of. I would love to see. Well, I'm biased because I haven't seen The Imitation Game yet or The Theory of Everything.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah, I do want to see them, absolutely. But Steve Carell just he killed it for me.
I thought he was great, but I also think that that's the third best performance in that movie, just because I'm so blown away by Ruffalo and Tatum.
Yes, me too. But maybe it's because I love Steve Carell so much and love seeing his. From going from Michael Scott on The Office to where he is now, it's pretty impressive.
Super nice guy. I moderated our Foxcatcher Q&A.
Yeah,
last
that's
night,
why I wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, it was. They're not the easiest interview together.
Yeah.
Bennett Miller is obviously a super smart guy, and he just doesn't suffer fools. So I feel like with a Q&A, you have to start off with those questions. What drew you to the project? And that it's a bit hacky, but you have to sort of set the stage for the audience members who don't know, who haven't read the 100 profiles of these guys that we've all read.
Right.
So that's the actor race and the actress race, and we're just talking drama right now. I guess we should speed this along. But
there's a lot of them.
Julianne Moore got 2 nominations, so I feel like it's probably hers.
I think so too. I've heard nothing but good things. Again, I need to kind of catch up on some of these movies that are just now coming out and getting these nods.
Yeah, it's a great performance in a good movie. But I'd prefer to see Rosamund or Reese take it. Jennifer Aniston was very good as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, I want to see Wild as well because I know.
Really liked it.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. I am in the Pike category right now because she blew me
away.
Exactly.
I think she would be a great choice.
She would be.
Actor, comedy, musical. We were talking Inherent Vice before the show started. Joaquin got nominated. Our would-be Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
Schmoville.
I know. Man.
I
can't imagine. From what I've heard, and again, I just think Michael Keaton is going to get this because
this is in the bag. This is done.
So everybody else is kind of sitting behind him at the tables.
I just would have loved to have seen Bill Hader get some recognition for the Skeleton Twins.
For the Skeleton Twins, yeah,
fantastic.
Absolutely.
Joaquin feels like a bit of an easy choice.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's because of the subject matter with that?
It's just the prestige profile that movie has. JT, did you get through it?
I barely did. I almost turned it off, but I plowed through Inherent Vice.
It's an incomprehensible movie. I've seen some of my favorite critics. McWeeny yesterday, whose top 10 list is like one of the highlights of my year, had it at number 1, and I couldn't believe it.
What? Really?
Number 1. I think who else? Maybe Tapley. He loved it too, but I couldn't stand Inherent Vice, and I love Paul Thomas Anderson. For Schmoville, if you haven't read it yet, Grantland has a great oral history about Boogie Nights.
Oh, God.
Highly recommended.
That's one of my favorite movies. I love that. And I was hoping that we were maybe getting a return to form with it. I mean, again, I haven't seen it, guys, but I love Boogie Nights. So to kind of see this coming and hear a little bit about it, that it could have been a Boogie Nights meets Big Lebowski.
It's cool to see PTA working in the 70s with that kind of thing again. The story makes no sense.
Yeah.
Riley, do you feel like a failure in life compared to this girl, Quvenzhané Wallis?
Absolutely. I do. Compared to her rise, I mean, I can only pray that God speaks to me and leads me on the path of
Quvenzhané. This girl got another Golden Globe nomination today, right? Because I think she was nominated for Beast of the Southern Wild. I have not seen Annie yet. I know half the world has. No, that's a bad joke.
Yeah. No, everybody's seen
the
Annie.
World.
Yeah.
Everyone's singing tomorrow.
I know that the schmoes are going in, Sunday, guys?
Okay.
Sunday?
Screener, thank God.
It's a screener? Oh, you got a screener. I don't want to see it. Don't care to see it.
Yeah, it's really lost me, and I was.
Did you see
it?
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
No.
Well, I mean, is it because she's singing that she is getting this nomination? They're like, oh, we do need to put some kind of musical in here and best comedy musical.
I just love. I'm looking at this right now. I'm looking at the list. Quvenzhané Wallis Annie is right next to Julianne Moore in Maps to the Stars. This is the same category.
I know. I'm looking at it too, and I don't believe it.
Well, I mean, that race is over. I mean, that'll go to Amy Adams.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah.
What did you think of Grand Budapest?
I liked it a lot. I know that fellow pit boss Ken Knapsack just stopped writing because of it or something. He hated it.
He moved away.
He's like, last night on the main show, he's like, yeah, me and my writer Matt Key, who hosts Marvel News, they stopped writing after they saw that movie, and I'm like, that movie's great.
Interesting.
I loved it, and I thought Ray Fiennes was fantastic in it.
He is wonderful. The cast is wonderful, and I love Wes Anderson. He's one of my favorent filmmakers.
He's one of mine, too.
I liked The Grand Budapest Hotel. I still, because I love the rest of his work so much, it was probably the worst film on his filmography.
Really?
Me.
See, I like this more than Moonrise Kingdom. I couldn't really...
Moonrise.
But then, I mean, hands down, my favorite is Rushmore, and then...
Yeah,
Royal
Rushmore,
Tenenbaums,
Tenenbaums. I love Darjeeling, having two brothers.
I love Darjeeling.
But that had a surprising showing. I think that Birdman is going to end up taking that.
Yeah, I agree.
Director category, great to see Ava DuVernay, the first African American female feature director to be nominated for a Golden Globe.
I like that too. And again, I got to see
Fincher got in there, even though Gone Girl didn't get a nomination.
Obviously, well, he deserves that.
He's the man.
Yeah, he deserves that. I think, and I will agree. I don't think Wes Anderson needs to be in there. For Grand Budapest. I think there's better directors out there.
Yeah, I get the screwplay nod, but I was definitely surprised by that and how much the HFPA went for that movie. Supporting actor, that is over. That's going to go to J.K. Simmons in Whiplash.
Yep.
Was surprised to see.
It should.
I guess I wasn't surprised to see Robert Duvall. All like the awards experts who talked to the HFPA were predicting him, but man, what a mediocre movie and performance.
I mean, the best part about that movie was Robert Duvall. But
sure,
I didn't.
But not like one of his best roles.
No. I mean, is it like that? There wasn't enough out there, so they're kind of throwing it towards. I just don't think they
were looking hard enough. I love John Goodman in The Gambler. I mean, the movie itself is not great, but when you see him as a gangster and that FU speech to Wahlberg is just, he should have been in there.
Yeah, I just I feel like there's been this nomination round for the Golden Globes has been, in my opinion, the most controversial because of all the good stuff that's out there. I've seen a lot of people that were really upset by some movies, actors, whoever that aren't in the conversation. So it's interesting to me.
All right, yeah, and the last cat, I mean, Patricia Arquette for Boyhood for supporting actress. I think that is going to go to her pretty handily.
I think so too.
As great as Jessica Chastain, I thought was in A Most Violent Year. I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't think we need to talk about the Globes anymore. They're the Globes. We know what the drill is by now, folks. It's all about the Oscars. Those nominations come out in a few weeks. So.
Yep. We'll see what happens there, and but we've been wanting to get to this. Is
it time?
I think so. I mean, we're already running short on time, so we got to get to it. The Sony leaks, everyone. I mean, these emails are coming out harder and faster than the rain out there now. It's insane,
and it's absolutely fascinating. Just to see the behind the scenes, how decisions get made in Hollywood, what actually counts to these people. And I think it'll be a really interesting conversation that we're about to have, because my title is film reporter. And your title is editor-in-chief. So tell me about, if someone on the Schmoes staff came to you and they're like, I've got all these emails, all these documents, like, what's your call, editor? How do you approach this situation?
Well, I would only want to report on the movie news that it seems to be coming from these emails. Like, we'll talk about this. SpiderMan, maybe possibly almost going to Marvel. This ridiculous 21 Jump Street Men in Black. That came from a leak.
Crazy.
Now we're hearing the Russo brothers are directing Avengers based on an email they sent Pascal, who said, hey, don't worry, we're still going to be on your movie, even though we're directing Avengers Infinity Gauntlet Part 1 and 2. That won't take away from it. That's been rumored, but that hasn't been out there yet. So rightly so, Alex Welsh, my managing editor, covered it today because those emails came. That's news. That's big-time stuff that we've been hearing about. So, and the geek in me is like, sweet, I hope that happens. I love the Russo brothers, love Captain America Winter Soldier. But in regards to like the racist emails and the behind the scenes look at how Pascal is calling people names and Rudin's calling people's names.
God.
It's more of a thing for me. I'm just watching a train wreck happen, and I can't look away.
It is a train wreck, and literally, people use that phrase. It's a slow motion train wreck. This is a slow motion train wreck. These hackers have owned the news cycle for like 2 full weeks.
Yeah.
And there's no sign of it stopping, and it's all these different sites getting in on the action. I don't even know. It's unbelievable to me.
Yeah. I mean, I personally these leaked emails when it comes to like even calling Kevin Hart a whore because he won't tweet. It's like, I don't find that. I find it interesting, but I don't find it worthy of posting an article as movie news.
Sure, I think that was one of the questionable ones, and I think as far as the racist stuff,
do you think Pascal could resign or get fired? I mean,
I think I'm going to be touching on that later today.
We were talking about that, yeah.
I guess by the time this podcast airs, earlier today, we'll see. But I think that she's on very shaky ground right now.
Yeah, and it's, we had Comic Book Girl 19 on the show last night, and she said something very interesting, which I tend to agree with. Why are they apologizing for emails they thought were private?
Right.
I tend to agree with that. It's like kind of Big Brother-ish. It's like they've been exposed, and why should they? But unfortunately, it's out there. So you said these bad things. So
sure, it's out there, but does that justify running it? Like, as a reporter, I feel very dirty about doing it. In fact, Variety wrote a very nice piece yesterday, Andrew Wallenstein, and I believe that it ended with something like the phrase, "It feels wrong, but it doesn't mean it isn't right."
It's good. Yeah.
Now, these are not the Pentagon Papers. The public does not necessarily have a right to know. Yes, Sony is a publicly traded company, and it has shareholders and that kind of thing who deserve answers, but some of the stuff that has been coming out, I think, is gossipy, and if it was my site, I would not run it.
Yeah.
I do think, unequivocally, Amy Pascal is not a racist.
No.
Scott Rudin is not a racist. These people work with African-American artists all the time. They champion them.
Yeah.
I think that they got caught in a bad moment making some bad jokes.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate they get sort of tarred and feathered, with that label, which is, it's just horrible to be accused of something like that when it's not true.
Yeah, and well, I want to go back to one of your points.
Sure.
Blogger is a publicly traded company, and I have some investments. I follow that kind of world.
You get to invest in shit as a blogger?
Well, I was lucky to take I think $5 off an advertising, and I turn that into just gold.
I need a financial advisor or something.
Sorry, don't look to me. I actually lost a lot of money, but my point is that these shareholders now are looking at the damage that's being caused, and they might very well say, we got to clean house and start over and start a new image, because their bottom line is they got to make money, and Sony is taking a major hit right now and continuing. This might go on for another few weeks.
Right.
So what does that mean?
So here's the thing, when we're talking about Amy, and I'm going to be writing about this. I don't want to say too much, but
yeah,
it has nothing to do with the emails. It has to do with her mismanagement of the studio.
Yeah. I like that.
The SpiderMan franchise, it doesn't even have to do with the fact that domestic grosses have gone down with each successive movie.
Yeah.
And that international grosses appear to be stagnant.
Yeah.
It's not that the movies even sucked. To me, it's that they have no clue how to fix it.
Yeah.
They're grasping at straws. They've got all these different ideas, and the truth is, and I do think that it will happen. They need to they need to loan that character to Marvel to rebuild its goodwill.
So that's interesting. That we could go there. Why don't you throw up that shot just to give everyone a visual aid, JT? But SpiderMan, there was the leak. It actually showed that Marvel was sniffing around, and I'm even hearing from Latina Review that the Japanese section of Sony is now like, no, give Spider-Man to Marvel. Let's do the 60-40 split. Let's get this guy back on track. Let's get rid of, and then this is what I'm hearing: get rid of Andrew Garfield, start over, throw Spider-Man in Civil War, and reintroduce him, and then come out with a trilogy creatively run by Marvel, distributed by Sony, that focuses more on his awkwardness as a teenager, becoming a superhero, and less on the love story that all these movies have done.
Right.
And I agree with that. Absolutely, hands down. Do I think it's happened? We talked about it last night. I don't think it'll happen. I think Sony is grasping at straws, holding on for dear life, and if Sinister Six blows, which it
is this getting made, this movie? I feel like,
yeah, I guess. I mean, that's what
I have no idea. I feel like all these plans are kind of out the window.
Well, where's an email about Sinister Six? Hackers, GOP, just send it my way, please.
Yeah. I with Spider-Man, I just I forget where I'm going with this, but is there even time to get him in Civil War? That's what I'm wondering. They need to make this decision now if it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And would Civil War be delayed if they did strike a deal at the last minute and then had to rewrite the script to get that character in?
You know, I actually heard, it's from Latino Review, that they said they have a version of the script with Spider-Man in it.
Oh, wow. Good thinking over there. Marvel prepared for everything.
I know. Maybe this has been going on for a while and the Sony leaks have brought it to light, but that's a great move if they do it. And they were prepared and they go, well, we have version 1 with no Spidey and here's version 2 with Black Panther maybe or whatever.
Either way, Sony's has bungled the Spider-Man franchise. To me, it's not. You can't even argue that point. The Steve Jobs stuff, like that is Sony's bread and butter. You know, Sony was not great at maybe big budget filmmaking or whatever, but they can make a smart adult drama, whether it's Captain Phillips, Social Network, American Hustle, whatever. And Jobs was one of those movies, and they spent millions to get that book, and they spent millions on Aaron Sorkin, and then they spent so much time developing it, and now it's over at Universal.
Yeah,
that is inexcusable.
Yeah, and reading that exchange, again, these leaked emails are just pulling back the curtain, and it's not a little guy operating the Wizard of Oz here. It's like some serious shit. I'm sorry, but it's crazy. So to see that email go in with Pascal going, "What are you doing? Stop!" Like literally pleading with them to not go to Universal. And he's like, sorry.
It's like, oh God, I have to like watch my mouth here. But like,
she
sounded, it was a little pathetic.
Yeah.
And I am the last guy on earth who would defend Scott Rudin. But what I respect Scott Rudin for is that he does the right thing for the movie. He has an incredible taste, and he is a producer's job is to get it done, get that movie across the finish line. He's doing whatever he can to get it made, and he very smartly got it the hell out of Sony and took it to Universal.
Yeah,
Donna Langley was like, "Let's do this."
Yeah, it's crazy, and so let me ask you a question, Jeff. I want your opinion on this. With Sony being, just underwater and all this, and losing jobs and screwing up Spider-Man and all this stuff. What in the hell are they doing with 21 Jump Street meets Men in Black? Is that a Hail Mary pass to just get them back on track somehow?
It is, and I don't even get why you're making it. The Jump Street franchise is like one of the brightest spots over on the lot.
You don't need to...
So you're going to take that just to reinvigorate, like potentially screw that up just to reinvigorate this other franchise that no one even really likes that much.
Right. I mean...
How would it work? I don't even understand. So we have Will Smith and still Brolin?
No, I heard that they wouldn't even do it. Would be a sequel to 22 Jump Street and a reboot of Men in Black. So that essentially...
But are there 4 characters, or are we putting...
No, and no
putting
Tommy
Channing
Lee.
and Jonah in a black suit?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, and then and apparently, again, all through the emails, it's Jonah Hill going, "This would be rad. This would be awesome." And I have a colleague that I work with who's like, "No, I would actually see that. If Jonah Hill wrote it, I'd be interested because he's awesome and he's funny and all these great things." But I'm like, no. What do Lord and Miller think of this? Are they the ones doing this? Probably not. I don't think they would even touch this because they have something, what you said, so good with the franchise already. Why do you need to throw Men in Black in there?
Again, it's just another example of the studio seemingly having no idea what it's doing or what its audience wants.
Yeah.
And then there's just countless other examples. The Dragon Tattoo stuff also. This is a franchise that was so hot around the world. Everywhere you went, someone was reading either Dragon Tattoo or Hornet's Nest or Girl Who Played with Fire.
Yeah.
And they had one movie that was successful for the most part. I think it made over $100 million during a very competitive Christmas frame, and it was rated R.
Yeah.
They can't get these sequels together. And you know what? The moment's passed. I don't give a shit about the Dragon Tattoo sequels anymore, and I don't think anybody else does either.
No, I don't.
Another blown opportunity.
Yeah.
Big dollar acquisition deal for those books.
Yeah, so they blew Jobs. They're blowing Spider-Man. They're essentially saying no to Marvel, which is stupid.
Studio heads, it is and they know this. It is a temporary position.
Yeah.
And she has been at that studio for 28 years, I want to say, something like that, 26 years.
So her tenure might be up.
At some point, you got to step aside and just know when it's time. And I don't think that this scandal hack attack thing will only define her if she lets it. But I also I think her best days are behind her, and I think that it's best for everyone, Sony and Amy, if they both parted ways.
Yeah. Okay. So you're thinking that she's going to be on her way out.
whether it's her choice or upstairs, and you know that they'll still make it look like her choice. But there's a lot of capable leaders over at Sony. Mike DeLuca. They have Tom Rothman now. Not that they necessarily put Tom Rothman in charge since his whole Fox tenure. They still have Robinov, although Robinov is he has his Chinese board or whatever, so he's kind of doing his own thing. Yeah, I'm just saying. I think Sony is a strong studio, and they've weathered the storm these past few weeks. And Amy is a tremendous leader. Yeah. But it might be time for new leadership and to the sort of next page, the next chapter. Of the Sony story. I agree, and this is such an interesting thing, guys, out there with the news and what we report on and what we're talking about, because not only has this kind of shown what's going on behind the scenes with Sony and how they're botching like Jobs and Spider-Man and all these other things, but it's throwing ripples all over other movie areas. Not only what I mentioned with the Russos apparently writing an email to Amy saying, oh, don't worry, we're doing Avengers 3 and it won't take away from your movie. But then you were telling me stuff has now broken that is affecting Star Wars. It's affecting Marvel. It's affecting Universal, like all these different things. I mean, and again, who knows if this is official or not? It could have been. Hollywood is an echo chamber, so executives will hear something and then repeat it, and then because an executive said something, you think it's official. That's not exactly how it works. They all read the same sites that we do. But yeah, there were rumors of that either Josh Trank's movie or Gareth Edwards' movie. One of them is making a Boba Fett movie. I forget who it is or whatever. But. So guys, there was another. Where was that? I think it was at the Daily Beast. I forget where these latest leaks are. But So it's been reported that there was talk in these leaked emails that Trank or Edwards is doing a Boba Fett movie, and we don't know if that's true or not. My speculation as a fan is that Boba Fett will show up in that slash film. In the heist thing. Right. Because they mentioned that bounty hunters are involved in the rebels getting their hands on the Death Star plans. And when I hear bounty hunters, I think Boba Fett, he's around that time, so that might happen. That's a cool thing to think about for me as a Star Wars nut. That email, by the way, also seemed to confirm that Rian Johnson was doing episode 9. It said 8 and 9, and I know there's one site in particular that's been beating the drum on that 9. It still hasn't been confirmed, probably because they want to see what they're getting with 8 first. Yeah, but because when it originally came out, he was writing and directing 8 and 9, and writing 9. Right, but then it was kind of reported that he was directing 8 and 9, but then it was kind of fixed. Became the narrative, yeah. So which we could talk forever on Star Wars. What do you think of the Star Wars? Trading cards and that kind of stuff. I as a fan, I loved it. Seeing them put the names on the trading cards and just having that little homage to the old 1977 Topps trading cards, it shows that J.J. Abrams knows what he's doing for the fans. There's respect there. There's respect there. Did I like the names? Not really. I mean, again, I'm trying to think if somebody were to say, without any knowledge whatsoever of the story, Han Solo, you'd go, huh? That's a weird name, but now it's so ingrained in our culture that you can't help but compare these names to the Star Wars names. I kind of feel like they don't really sound Star Wars to me, except the Sith name, which I'm blanking on it. You didn't like Poe, whatever that was? Dameron? I kind of like the names. I mean, they were a little silly. Ray, what's Ray's last name going to be? I love that no real information was given out with these things. It's still all mumbo jumbo. Yeah, it is mumbo jumbo. I mean, Christian put it to me last night. I was like, Ray, and he's like, what about Ray Solo? I went, ooh. Yeah, that is good. Yeah. I like BB-8. BB-8? That's a great name. Well, so I saw a very timely tweet with that. They said BB-8 stands for Bouncing Ball 8. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I get that. But I mean, overall, I liked them. Overall, I liked the images of the trading cards and thought it was very great fan service. I'm just going to, the names just kind of went, but I know that JJ's got my back on it as a fan. So that was the Star Wars stuff of the Sony hack emails. There were also, a list of actresses supposedly who wanted to be part of the Ghostbusters movie. Yep. There's 7 actresses, so, I don't think that they're all getting in unless one of them wants to play Stay Puft. Yeah. Rebel Wilson? That was a bad joke, Mark. I can't believe I said that. We'll cut that. Yeah, we'll cut. Sorry about that. Yeah, she would be wonderful, and as a real Ghostbuster, I think, because she's hilarious. I'm just not a fan of her.
hers. I don't know
Really?
why. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. I mean, she's talented. She's funny. She makes me laugh sometimes, but I'm just like, I like Jennifer Lawrence in it, but I think Jennifer Lawrence is like taking over every female tentpole movie. So maybe I'd like to see some new blood in something like this.
Absolutely. I hope that they don't cast sort of one of those big three of Jennifer or Shailene or something like that. I'd like to see something a little bit more diverse. But I do think that Rebel Wilson has a really unique brand of physical comedy that would work well for Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and is there any hope that we're going to get Bill Murray?
Well, that was also in the Sony Leaks today. Sony wants to sue him to do the movie, basically. They want to aggressively pursue litigation against Bill Murray. And let me tell you, the world does not appreciate that.
Yeah, why? How does that work? How can you sue him for not wanting to do a project?
Beats me. Bill Murray is the man, and if you mess with Bill Murray, I think you're messing with everybody.
Yeah, I agree. And it doesn't make sense for it. Like, I feel like Dan Aykroyd will show up no matter what.
Dan Aykroyd will show up to friggin'.
He really is like in Ghostbusters 2, where he shows up with the boombox and Ernie Hudson, and they do the kids movie. That's what he did yesterday.
Ernie Hudson's ready. He's on standby.
I think Ernie Hudson and Dan Aykroyd will have like cameos or maybe a small part.
You know what? Did you talk about? Have you seen the interview?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay.
I really want to see it. Is it? Did you like it?
I thought it was. Wait, am I?
You're under embargo.
Actually, no. The embargo lifts in like 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I really liked top five. I really liked the interview.
Yeah.
Where am I this morning, guys? I'm working on 7 hours sleep like the last 3 days.
Yeah.
The interview I thought was really hilarious. Yeah, I can see why North Korea does not care for it.
Yeah.
But it also had some decent positive messages about it. Seth Rogen has a romance with one of the North Korean characters.
Oh, okay.
And I was just thinking, with Ghostbusters, that I really like that girl. Her name's Diana Bang.
Okay.
I'd like to see an Asian actress in Ghostbusters.
Oh, they should.
You had to sell it these days over there.
Yeah. So I mean, we got. I guess it's happening. Feige is me. Feige. Who am I thinking of? Feig. Paul
Feig.
Paul Feig. Jeez, these names. Kevin Feige is in my mind, I guess, because of my Marvel nerdiness.
Sure.
But yeah, it would be really nice to see some different actresses, different ethnicities. Do something different, and I think he could do it. He's a great director, and when I heard this news, I was like, yeah, I could get behind that actually.
And you see it in the emails as well. It seems like Blofeld is confirmed.
For
Bond.
Yes. That's always been a rumor, guys. We're talking about Spectre. We're talking about Bond.
Good title. I like that.
I like that name, and one of my writers pointed out that that's kind of a callback to the original kind of series.
Right, we talked about this last week, didn't we? I'm so fuzzy.
Yeah, but that it was rumored that Christoph Waltz was going to be Blofeld.
Yeah, we'll see.
And I guess, again, this is how these Sony emails are just killing it, in not only with like this train wreck happening with behind the scenes stuff, but revealing a lot of information of movies that have nothing to do with, obviously with Sony and Bond, but we talked about Star Wars.
It's industry stuff, and it's also now affecting fanboys. So,
yeah.
Is there anything else that you wanted to discuss before we wrap this up?
I don't know.
We got to go soon.
Jete, are we out of time? Are we? Yeah, we're out of time.
You got like 5 minutes.
Okay. Do we have 5 minutes?
All right.
What do we talk about?
I don't know. Any good trailers that we've seen? I like talking about upcoming movies. Mad Max. Oh my God. Okay. Wait. Okay. So I
you had something going on.
I do.
There.
I talked to a friend.
Okay.
The friend has seen Mad Max. They cannot legally talk about it, but all I got was one line, and the line was, "I have seen the future."
And
that's it.
They see the future.
I have seen Mad Max, and I have seen the future.
I'm trying to piece it together. They liked it, and the future is Mad Max movies every year.
If I'll tell you, if more movies look like that Mad Max trailer, which was absolutely breathtaking,
it was awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe the future of this is Miller doing a combination of practical effects with CGI and more reliance on practical effects and stunts instead of CGI people running in the air like Spider-Man.
I don't know how that percentage will break down, but I did think it was interesting. I think Edgar Wright, who tweeted this week, was like, I think the year that Mad Max comes out, the following year at the Oscars, there will be a stunt category, and that they will win the inaugural Oscar for stunt work.
Okay.
That'd be cool.
Because there's that shot in the trailer of that guy like leaping.
Right, it's like a goddamn Cirque du Soleil thing in the middle of an action scene.
So awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that.
That was a good call. Thank you for bringing that one up.
Yeah, and the other trailer that I really liked that we haven't really... Have we talked about Pixar? Inside Out?
Oh, I'm excited for that.
That was a great trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I
don't think I've watched the full trailer yet, but...
Yeah, no, it's like you go into the heads of the three family members, the father, the daughter, and the mother, and it's really cute. It's really funny. It's like it does the men kind of job where he's just like kind of watching football in his mind and just kind of eating, and his emotions are running it, and then the mother's like, what?
Oh no! There were just two other trailers, and then we'll go.
Yeah. But no, it was just a really great. It looks like a great original movie, which I think Pixar needs, just to kind of show, hey, no, we still got it. Don't worry, we're doing Toy Story 4.
It's a great idea. I like the concept.
I do too.
Exploring emotions.
And the trailer is so well done because it really showed you the concept and how they're doing it, and it's so
Speaking
well
of
done.
exploring complex emotions, let's talk about real quick, 1 minute, Dwayne Johnson in the San Andreas trailer.
It looked like Nolan doing an earthquake movie. It was so like drab and just like
a little self-serious.
Yeah,
not
so
as much fun
serious, and it's like, oh,
right.
It's like grabbing the girl as she's falling into the earthquake hole, and it looked good effects.
It'll be fun,
guess.
For a big Memorial Day action release or whatever. But the trailer was a little underwhelming.
It was a little underwhelming. I'm not a big disasters movie guy.
Okay,
like they don't do it for me. So you can blow up as much stuff if you want. I want aliens behind it all, like Independence Day. I don't need natural disasters.
The one simple trailer that blew me away, and this is where we're going to end it, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's movie, The Walk. Did you see that?
It's a fantastic trailer.
Holy shit.
Fantastic trailer. And, Alicia Malone, who hosts Profiles on the Popcorn Talk Network, said, my feet felt tingly off of that trailer. And I'm quoting her because I'm like, yeah, they did that shot where he kind of went like this, and I went...
I got vertigo. It's not even in 3D yet.
No, and it was on my phone, I think. I was watching it on my phone.
I am someone who's very skeptical about this project. I love Man on Wire. I think it's a masterpiece. It's a fantastic documentary if you haven't seen it. This is the feature adaptation starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt and it's going to feature photorealistic 3D, courtesy of Robert Zemeckis.
Yeah.
And the trailer is just Joe up there on the World Trade Center, on the roof. It's breathtaking, and I'm really psyched for it next fall.
Yeah, I'm excited. Sign me up for anything Zemeckis does. I'm sorry. When he came out with Flight, and I was like...
That was good, too.
Yeah, that movie blew me away, and I'm just glad he was away from, the animated motion, whatever he was doing. I'm glad to see him back doing movies with real people. So.
Yes, I think that's a good place to leave it. Let's try and do maybe top 10 lists next week. Maybe some end of the year superlatives.
How about some top 10 lists next week? We'll do that.
I'll come prepared.
Yeah,
we'll do some homework.
I'll do some homework as well. And guys, this has been Meet the Movie Press on a special Wet Friday. Raining cats and dogs out there, please go to the Facebook page Meet the Movie Press, give it a like, and head on over to our iTunes subscription, rate, comment. And please check out the Popcorn Talk Network. We have so many good shows. The Schmoes Know Main Show, Marvel News, DC Movie News, Profiles, Jedi Alliance, and Box Office Breakdown. You guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Riley around on Twitter.
I'm Jeff Snyder from The Wrap. You can find me at the N Snyder. Protect your emails, folks. Have a good weekend.
Have a good one.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Christian Harloff, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of its owners or principals.